We have Teezar from Indonesia, and Mike, welcome. I'm going to allow you to introduce our special guest of the day.
Yeah. Thank you, Nick. Thank you. Please welcome Mr. Teezar. Selamat pagi, Pak. I speak in bahasa.
Ya, good morning, selamat pagi juga,
Yeah, please
Pak.
welcome. So, Mr. Teezar is a managing partner from Kolibra Capital, one of venture capital in Indonesia. They have a lot of portfolios, especially in unicorn and something. So, yeah, we are really excited. Mr. Teezar will join to us this morning this event. Thank you.
Thank you. And I want to welcome you. We're going to have a brief conversation here around the entrepreneurial opportunities that you see, Teezar, over there in Indonesia, and just some advice that you would give to early stage entrepreneurs. So first of all, if you could please, just briefly introduce yourself. Talk to us a little bit about what you do, what position you hold, and how you really oversee the entrepreneurial ecosystem over in Indonesia.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the time, Nick. So yeah, maybe I'll introduce myself. So I set up Kolibra actually to really fill up the gap in the market in Indonesia, because we are not only investing in Indonesia but also investing in overseas company who actually a foreign company who would like to invest, who like to expand in Indonesia. And the spirit of Kolibra when I said that I want to fill up the gap is actually um, um, it's actually represented by the name itself. Because in English you can read it Kolibra, and it sounds really similar to collaboration, and actually that's our motto. When we invest, the real goal is actually to collaborate with founders and how we can really help them to expand the business or grow the business here in Indonesia. Yeah. What differentiate us perhaps with other fund is other than our commitment for collaboration. The other one is actually our commitment that when we invest in a company, we will not invest in other competing companies, and the commitment from the founders also, we want to become a one-stop shop for not only the Indonesian founders but also for global founders who would like to come here. Other than myself, the co-founder is actually Leon and Nara. Leon is actually happened to be also the co-founder of Tokopedia.com, one of the biggest e-commerce here in Indonesia that has just recently merged with GoTo. And the second one is actually Nara from Ciputra family. And myself, I'm a professional. I used to be an engineer long time ago, but then I have happened to switch a career into venture capital back in Washington D.C., helping my previous boss there to run 4 different funds, and then I came back to Indonesia in 2010 and have been very active in private equity space, and finally came back to the venture capital space. Yeah, about about the opportunity in Indonesia. I guess Indonesia is a very interesting country because we are uh, not many people in the U.S. perhaps knows where Indonesia is, but it's just above Australia, and that this is a country where Bali is, so not the other way around. Yeah. So but we are actually the five biggest country in the world, and we have the demographic benefits because most of our population are actually young population, and we have about 270 million population totally in total. And we are part of the G20 country, and I guess this year our president has been elected to be the chairman. Um, And in terms of like the GDP, Indonesia actually one of the biggest in Southeast Asia. So if you really want to expand your business to Asia, especially Southeast Asia, you cannot miss Indonesia because of those population and the young demographic over here. So
Yeah.
that's why, yeah, we have been having like 9 unicorns so far in the past decade. Yeah. So the opportunity is actually a very wide and plenty, but then it's not easy for global companies to actually expand in Indonesia because normally there is a cultural breakdown, and that is actually where we step in to really help them to navigate the market over here.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you. And Mike, did you have any thoughts or anything to add, or a
Yeah.
question? A question,
No,
or
I want to ask Mr. Teezar actually. I'm kind of curious. Maybe what are the most excited for Kolibra Capital or Indonesia in 2022? Do you want to play to to the grassroots, to the early stage, or just in the A series up?
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for the question, Mike. I mean, like, this is actually really good because we have a new pipeline coming up in 2022. Right now, I guess most of the companies are really maybe due to COVID as well, many of those companies actually graduate into the highest series, and then most of the investors also looking at those series because now most of the investors coming from all over the world like to be part of the Indonesian growth. And that actually leaves a space in the grassroots level, as you point out, Mike. So, and perhaps this is where we can actually work and collaborate closely in the future with your community, because then we want to really help the what you call it, the this grassroots entrepreneur to really scale up, especially here in Indonesia, because many of them they really think small. They never think about global expansion, uh, not even regional expansion. They were just thinking about how to open up a business and then having some revenue and make some money for the family, but never really think about how to to go globally. And we just actually did several investment in 2021, and we have been helping a few companies that exactly like that. I mean, they were just focusing on the local regional market, and then but then we step in and we told them that, hey, you can actually increase your revenue by 10 times by just actually fixing your business model without actually having extra money invested in your company. So this is kind of active collaboration and help that we provide to our portfolio company. So next year we will launch what we call Level Up. This is something a new initiative to really help the grassroots level.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. What I wanted to ask, or, something that we wanted to really cover was, there's definitely entrepreneurs, people watching on here that they're thinking about, or they either are thinking about starting a company or they're just getting going. What should founders be thinking about right now, especially at the end of the year, turning into next year, especially
Mhm.
2022? What would you suggest they be thinking about, or decisions that they should be making right now?
Okay. So I guess everywhere around the world, I think we are all optimistic about 2022 because of this COVID that has been with us since the past almost 2 years. Yeah. So I guess everyone has to be optimistic. But then again, as a founder or entrepreneur, I guess it's good that perhaps one of the New Year resolution really ask ourselves like why we want to do this. Actually, what has driven us to do this? What has motivated us to do whatever goals that we want to do in 2022? Because at the end of the day, if we are talking about entrepreneurship, it's not always about it's not always rosy. It's up and down. There is up, there is hills that we have to go through as well, and it's not always easy. So I guess really check on our motivation, desire, and passion. Why we want to do this, because that will actually really help us to guide our path in 2022. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. And, Mike, we don't have a lot more time here because we got so
Yeah.
much to do, but what advice, you see a lot of founders, you obviously, you're holding Founders Live events like almost every week, at least a couple times
Yeah.
a month. What do you see now? What advice are you giving to early stage entrepreneurs, founders that are starting up right now? And definitely what should they be thinking about right now?
Yeah, the main point for me is collaboration. I think collaboration is especially for the first time founders, for the early stage startup founders, right? Because you know the competition of the startup in Indonesia is really pretty high. So I think the collaboration is the main point, that the first time founders, especially the my friends that want to join in Founders Live event, we are running almost every week in country, and we want to expand to another country in Asia Pacific. So I think if we get the point to make a collaboration, then they can enter another market in another country in Asia Pacific. I think that's the main point. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Yeah, thank you. And what I'll share with all of you, just to answer that question, what should you be thinking about right now? What I would say, just as I've developed, we've grown Founders Live, and look, this is almost year 8 in terms of when it started, and so I've learned enough. And what I can tell you is this time of year is, it's really, really important to put time in to actually do some consideration on looking back. What did you learn in the year? What worked, what didn't? And then what are you going to do for the next year? And so doing some end of year planning and essentially next year planning is incredibly important. I would suggest that you do that. Secondly, I would suggest to get some rest. It seems like the end of the year is a good time to take a little break, obviously holidays and all that, but make sure that you are getting enough time and rest. And, I'm talking to myself here a little bit too. So get some rest, make sure you schedule that time, you take time off, you're with family and friends. Maybe it's your own time, but if you do those things, look at what you need to change and enhance in your business, and then get some rest. I think you're going to be in a good place. So, all right. Well, let's see. Last words here. Mr. Teezar, it's been so nice to, I know it's not a lot of time, but it's been nice to chat with you. What would be your parting words here for the group here today, as well as just entrepreneurs around the world? Just one quick thought here.
Okay, just one quick thought. Okay, so always really think about why you started your business, because I guess that is really what investors really look for when they want to invest in you, because as an early startup, investors cannot really see your plan, your business track record, but then really your passion in your business.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much. And Mike, it's been great.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you here again soon. But Mr. Teezar, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot
Yeah.
for
Terima kasih, Pak Teezar. Terima kasih.
Yeah,
Pak Teezar.
terima kasih juga, Mike. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.